Have you ever pondered the duality of a man who is both a feared criminal and a beloved benefactor? Castor de Andrade was one such figure. Born in the waning years of the 19th century, in 1894 to be precise, in the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro, Andrade would grow to become an enigmatic figure in Brazil's history. His name was synonymous with both the underbelly of organized crime and the philanthropic deeds of a community benefactor. Andrade's life was a paradox, a cocktail of illegal activities mixed with charitable deeds. His influence was not limited to the criminal underworld, he was equally known in social circles for his munificence. Commanding an illegal gaming network, he was a feared figure, yet his philanthropy presented a contrasting image. He sponsored social events, donated to charities, and was seen by many as a pillar of the community. This enigmatic figure's life was indeed a tale of contrasts. Let's delve deeper into his story. From ordinary beginnings, Andrade found his calling in the underbelly of society. Castor de Andrade was just like any other young man from Rio de Janeiro, born in the late 19th century. His life took a turn towards the unconventional when he was lured by the tantalizing allure of the criminal world. As a young man, Andrade was no stranger to the harsh realities of life. The city of Rio, with its stark contrast of rich and poor, provided fertile ground for the growth of his illicit interests. The bustling streets, brimming with life and chaos, were his playground, and it was here where he took his first steps into the world of crime. What set Andrade apart from others was not just his willingness to partake in these unlawful activities, but his knack for organization and leadership. He was not merely a participant, he was a mastermind. His keen understanding of human nature, coupled with his ability to manipulate situations to his advantage, made him a formidable figure in the criminal underworld. His most notable venture was the establishment of an illegal gaming network. Gambling, a vice deeply embedded in the culture of Rio, was a lucrative business. Andrade capitalized on this, setting up a clandestine betting network that sprawled across several parts of the city. This network was not just a source of wealth, it was a symbol of his dominance, a testament to his ability to operate under the radar of law enforcement. Andrade's gaming network became his empire. The profits funded his lifestyle and his ambitions, but more importantly, it marked his ascent in the criminal hierarchy. It was through this network that he established a trust of power and respect within criminal circles. His name became synonymous with gambling in Rio, and his influence extended far beyond the confines of the city. Yet it was not just the money that drove Andrade. He thrived on the thrill of the game, the risk, the power. He was a man who operated in the shadows, yet his name was known in every corner of the city. This network was not just a source of income but also a symbol of power and influence in the criminal underworld. Andrade wasn't just a criminal, he was a mastermind of manipulation and influence. In the labyrinth of Brazil's criminal underworld, Andrade was a puppeteer, pulling the strings with an uncanny finesse that belied his notorious reputation. With a keen understanding of human nature and a knack for exploiting it, he built an intricate web of networks that extended far and wide. Andrade's power lay not only in his illicit activities but also in his ability to connect, to persuade, and to control. He cultivated relationships with people from all walks of life, from the street hustlers to the high-ranking officials. These relationships were not built on fear, but on a kind of mutual respect and understanding. He was a man of his word, and in the criminal underworld that counted for a lot. This trust and respect allowed him to operate his illegal businesses with relative impunity. His clandestine betting network sprawled across the city, raking in huge sums of money and bolstering his influence further. It was a well-oiled machine, operating in the shadows yet known to all. Andrade's influence wasn't confined to the criminal circles. He was a paradox, a man who, despite his illicit activities, was seen by some as a benefactor. He sponsored social events, donated to charities, and even engaged in philanthropic activities. This facade of respectability further entrenched his position in society, making him a figure of intrigue and complexity. His influence seeped into every layer of society, from the dark alleyways of the underworld to the brightly lit halls of respectability. He was a criminal, a benefactor, a master of manipulation, and a man of influence. Andrade's story is a testament to the power of influence. It shows how one man, through his networks and connections, could hold sway over an entire city, manipulating it to his will and operating with near impunity. His power was not just in his criminal activities but also in his ability to manipulate and control. Andrade's legacy is a stark reminder of the complex and nuanced nature of historical figures, often oversimplified or stereotyped. Yet, for all his criminal endeavors, Andrade was also known for his philanthropic activities. It's a baffling paradox that often leaves us scratching our heads. How could a man who thrived in the murky depths of organized crime also be viewed as a pillar of society? But such was the enigma of Castor de Andrade. He was known to sponsor social events, often pouring generous funds into community festivals, sports events, and local celebrations. These actions weren't mere throwaway gestures, they were strategic, calculated moves that allowed him to weave a complex tapestry of influence and respect in the society he lived in. Charitable deeds were another hallmark of Andrade's persona. He played the role of a benefactor with aplomb, donating to causes that resonated with the community. He provided funds for schools, hospitals, and other public services, becoming a veritable Santa Claus figure to many. But let's not kid ourselves. These weren't the actions of a saint. They were the machinations of a shrewd operator who understood the power of perception. By engaging in these philanthropic activities, Andrade was able to maintain a facade of respectability. He was viewed not just as a criminal but also as a benefactor, a man who cared for his community. In a society where the line between law and crime often blurred, Andrade's actions served to further muddle this divide. He became a symbol of contradiction, a man who lived in the shadows yet shone brightly in the public eye. His actions raise a question that's as pertinent today as it was back then. Can good deeds ever truly absolve someone of their criminal past? It's a question that's unlikely to receive a definitive answer, but one that continues to fuel discussions about figures like Andrade. In a twist of irony, the man who profited from illegal activities also gave back to his community. He was a paradox, a puzzle, a man who defied the norms and challenged our understanding of what it means to be a criminal. And in doing so, he left a legacy that continues to intrigue and confound us to this day. Andrade's name is etched in Brazil's crime history as a reminder of the complexities surrounding historical characters. Castor de Andrade, a man born in the late 19th century, rose to notoriety in the 20th century as a prominent figure in Brazil's organized crime scene. His life was a cocktail of illicit activities, influence, power, and paradoxically, philanthropy. Born in the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro, he embarked on a life that was far from ordinary. He was the puppeteer of an intricate web of illegal gaming, a clandestine network that sprawled across the city, bringing in substantial income and bolstering his influence in Brazil's underworld. Andrade, however, wasn't just a notorious criminal. He was a shapeshifter, a chameleon who could blend into the societal fabric when he needed to. His philanthropic deeds were as prolific as his illicit activities. He sponsored social events, donated to charities, and by these actions, painted a dichotomous image of himself. He was seen as both a villain and a benefactor, an enigma that puzzled many. His legacy is one of ambiguity. He was a man who blurred the lines between right and wrong, between crime and charity. Andrade was a testament to the intricate complexities of human nature. He was a criminal mastermind who exploited the system, yet he also used his ill-gotten gains to help those in need. This paradox has left an indelible mark on Brazil's crime history, a mark that prompts us to explore the various shades of gray that exist within the black and white narrative often presented. Today his name serves as a reminder of the multifaceted nature of individuals involved in organized crime. His story is an exploration of the human capacity for both good and evil, a testament to the complexities that often lie beneath the surface. Castor de Andrade, a criminal mastermind and a community benefactor, leaves us pondering the multifaceted nature of humanity.